He's declared a state of emergency. It'll last a month. He also imposed a curfew in Port Said, Suez and Ismailia, where dozens have been killed in rioting. And that curfew was broken last night. Well, this morning, demonstrations are also continuing in Cairo. Police have been firing tear gas at protesters who are throwing rocks. You can see there what has been happening in the last few hours. President Morsi has warned he will take more action if violence continues. Well, let's go live to Cairo to Saif El-Yazal, a retired army general, former intelligence officer, now director of Al-Gomaria Institute for Security Studies. Thanks for joining us, General. When you look at the calculations that have to be made, could it be that the opposition will see this move by President Morsi as something they have to accept?
I doubt it very much. If anybody will go at 6 o'clock this evening to the meeting, I believe the opposition leaders, they will lose their credibility if they will show up at that meeting. Many of them, some of them actually, they said already this morning that they will not be there. And many others, I believe, they will follow them today.
What's your analysis? It was 2 years ago on Friday that essentially the uprising in Egypt against Mubarak began. That was expected. And now there were the results and the verdicts of the 21 accused in the Port Said football disaster. What do you think of the way the government has handled this?
Well, actually, very negatively. People, they believe that the government and administration, including the president, didn't handle it properly. In fact, the Prime Minister was in Davis to attending a conference while hundreds of people were injured, more than 900 people, and more than 49 people has been dead. So he was attending this conference, and the government here, we didn't hear from anybody, any comments at all, until last night when the president decided to give the speech. But before that, no one came to talk to the people of Egypt and tell them what's going on.
I should put to you that I was interviewing the Prime Minister in Davos, and I put to him he was the invisible Prime Minister. He rejected that completely. But you're a former intelligence officer, a former general. Would it have been known explicitly the scale of protest on Friday and what would happen if there were the verdicts which actually came to pass in Port Said?
Well, the situation is very unstable, and I believe it's going to escalate for the coming few days. People in Suez and Port Said and Ismailia, the three cities which President Morsi mentioned yesterday, there will be a curfew and an state of emergency over there. I don't think they will accept that. In fact, to challenge that, he said this will be enforced as of midnight last night. Immediately after midnight, hundreds of thousands of people went down to the streets to prove that they will not respect the curfew, and they are challenging the president.
But what I'm trying to get from you, General, as a former general and former intelligence officer, surely the government authorities, the presidential office, must have a clear indication of what is likely to happen if certain things happen, like on Friday, like with the verdicts in Port Said.
Well, I believe the problem of the administration and the president, that they still don't believe there is a big issue in the streets. They believe it's a minor thing, they can control it, and they prove that they cannot control it, and things are out of the control up till now. The problem is they depend on some inexpert politicians surrounding the president as consultants, and he listens to them, and every time he takes a decision, as we've seen many times, he delayed it or freeze it for a while, and he's losing his credibility as well in front of the people.
Saif El-Yazal, thank you very much indeed for sparing time to join me live from our studio in Cairo.